Alrighty, if this is your first time watching this video, my name is Marina Tolentino and I'm a real estate agent here on Oahu. And we're really excited to talk today. This is Brian Hirono. He's going to say a little bit about himself, but I've been a realtor for the last 5 years, got licensed in 2020, and just had an incredible time learning myself personally how to do this the right way and how to help other people in their life too. So this video, the point is to help you learn financial literacy when it comes to real estate. So Brian, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, for sure. Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Brian Hirono, mortgage broker here locally in Hawaii. I'm currently in my 5th year as a mortgage broker, and Marina and I, we've been working together for the last maybe 4 years or so. And really today, we wanted to get together and talk about the Mortgage Basics 101. This is the one class or the one video that everyone should have watched in high school. And we just want to break it down as simple as possible to help you get prepared to embark on that home ownership journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's like literally adulting 101 that no one teaches you. And then you have to figure out through a Google search or listening to horror stories from your friends of how not to do it. And so like older brother, sister to you, we want to help you do this the easier way. And I just think it's one of those videos. It's not like everyone's going to buy a house this year. It's not like everyone's going to sell a house this year, but one time in your life, you're probably going to want to know this information. And like I said, even if it's not for you now, you could send this to a friend who's going through the process of like, hey, I watched this video, it's so good. You need to learn these basics. We're going to dive into the nitty gritty. Yeah.
Absolutely. So without much ado, let's get started. Come along.
All right, so section 1 of this important video is going to be island orientation and learning the things that are specific to Oahu. So if this is your first time living in Hawaii, there's a lot that you don't know. There's a lot of fear probably around sticker shock and like, holy crap, homes are $1 million. Like we've all been there and done that. And so just personal testimony, like I'm not from Hawaii. I'm from Washington State. I married a local guy and ended up moving back here in 2016. You're born and bred here.
I might seem local, but I'm also actually a transplant. I'm from California. Los Angeles originally. I grew up here in Hawaii and Japan. But you know, growing up here, you know, homes used to be a lot cheaper, but now the median sales price is what, 1.185 or something like that. So it's definitely skyrocketed. And you know, one thing I really love about working with Marina is that she explains, you know, what it's like to buy on the island, live on the island, what you can expect and all those things. And she's going to break that down for you here in the next few minutes. So,
yeah. Well, to set the scene, it's like we were in your shoes basically, and we're now both homeowners and investors. And so we're going to talk about that process. But I remember step 1 was like, I was just terrified to talk to a professional. So I was like, surely they're going to be car salesman status, like pull me into something, wrangle my arm, right? And I'm going to get house for it. That's the one thing we don't want is you bite off more than you can chew and your house payment like takes all your money, right? So we're really going to go through this through the perspective of, can you afford this? And is it something that's going to do well over the long term? So like I said, we used to have been there. Now we've done this a couple years in, we've been able to invest personally. So what do you need to know about Hawaii? Well, first of all, we're an island, duh, but it means we don't have any more land. What we have is what we have, right? Like that's 101. So home values tend to go up much quicker, and I'm going to dive into the appreciation side of it. But for context, you also have to realize who's on this island. Like we're the melting pot of the Pacific, which means we have so many different people, races, cultures, but we also have a lot of military. And that might be you watching this video of like, hey, I just got orders to Oahu. What do I need to know? Can I afford to buy a house? And fun fact, people don't know there's a base for every branch of the military, which includes Space Force. Like not even people don't know we have that, but we do. It's all the way out west at Yokohama Bay. And so when you come here, you're going to realize, man, there's a lot of military, but it means there's a lot of opportunities. So specifically, a lot of our clients are usually on Schofield or Fort Shafter, like Army or Pearl Harbor based. So we really recommend sticking to the middle of the island. And I call that the investment belt of Oahu. So that's Mililani up there by Schofield, over to Kapolei Ewa Beach, and then over to Pearl City. So that middle of the island, which we'll show you on a map, is really going to be the sweet spot. It's going to be the best commute, the best affordability, and the best inventory. So the best options and priceability.
And also what's really important is going to be quality of life, right? Yeah. Because, you know, if you have kids, then your schools that you send them to is going to be important, you know, depending on where you work, your commute times, you know, if you have, you know, dogs like I do, you know, then dog parks and, you know, just the neighborhood, the farmers markets that's available and things like that. So really, you know, the key thing, I think the takeaway is having a sincere conversation with you and your other half, your significant other, your family, and say, what is important in our lives? What are our values? What's important to us? And depending on that, where you live on the island and what you can afford, that's going to start to change a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just coming from the mainland too, like you have this stereotype of Hawaii that, hey, it's going to be plantation homes with, open windows all the time and geckos on the walls. And like, yes, you can get that here. But if you want central AC and you want a mainland style home, we have that here too. We're sitting in one right now. So there's definitely little pockets and suburbs that we can guide you to as well. But just start your search knowing I'm probably going to live in the middle of the island. I want a 30-minute commute or less, and I want affordability. And so that's going to be in that zone that I talked about. So next, let's talk about timeline. Big question is, well, how long does it take, Marina? Like if I'm starting now, does it take 6 months to buy a home? Do I need to get pre-approved a year before I go shopping? Like, no. It's really fast, actually. And I think that's a big misconception that people have for the first time is I need to plan all these years in advance to be able to afford a home. Maybe in the sense of career, if you're trying to get your income up, but for most of us and most of our clients, I would say it's 60 to 90 days on average.
Yeah, 60 to 90 days is good. I do want to add a little bit of a caveat there because I do have clients that I've pre-approved and we've been working for the last 12 months to really improve their credit. And we'll talk more about this in the following sections, but they want to improve their credit. They want to make sure that they get the promotion that they need and the income that they need to afford a home here. So the more time we have to plan, the better. But typically 60 to 90 days would be a chunk of time prior to your home shopping experience that we need to get together, start planning and strategizing.
Yeah. So let's just hypothetically, like you come to us, you find this video and you're like, I think I want to start, just consider if this is an option for me, right? So step number one, you're going to reach out. We're going to say, hey, let's look at your finances and let's talk about your needs as a family or as a single person, whatever that is, quality of life, right? And then we're going to say, okay, we definitely need to get you pre-approved. That's step number two. And so that's talking with someone like Brian who has experience helping these people do this over and over and over, right? This isn't our first rodeo. And so there's a lot of context and education that goes with that. And so that's really what this point of this video too is when we go into finances, there's all this fact finding you have to do in education to get really confident about the process because it can feel very scary when you're on a Google search. And so we're trying to rein it down to show you it's actually very simple. So next step, once we get that pre-approval letter, I always say that's our golden ticket to go shopping. That's what allows us to go tour homes, just like what you'd see on HGTV. We're touring and checking out neighborhoods. And I say that that process typically takes anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks on average. Keeping in mind, some people can be very particular, and then that might be you, and you're the exception that takes 6 months. But most of our clients, can pretty much find something within 2 weeks. From there, we're running numbers. We're really getting clear on the mortgage estimate before we even submit an offer. So I'm sending the property to Brian and saying, hey, run some numbers on us. What would the offer structure look like if we did X, Y, Z? What if we need seller credit? And I'm going to throw out some terms we're going to explain later. But you get to know an estimate of what your payment would be every single month before we even start the paperwork. And I think that's a big peace of mind for people is they think there's so much unknown, like how much am I actually going to afford? We won't know until we pick the house. Once we pick the house, then we can negotiate. And there's a lot of moving levers that we can pull to make a payment work just for you, okay? So then from there, I would say that's like a 24 to 48 hour process. We actually submit the offer and we're thinking of like the stages of terms of things. I like to say when you're showing homes, we're kind of dating. When we're engaged, we're actually under contract, and then we're not married to the final end. So just like when you're engaged to get married, you're not saying I do on the first day. You're saying, let's continue the process. Let's continue to get to know each other. So from their accepted contract, we've usually got 21 to 60 days until you actually close and get your keys. So what happens during those 30 to 60 days? We're doing a lot of investigation, right? It's interview time. We're having the home inspector look underneath everything. They're checking it out. We're doing termite inspection. We're also making sure we're checking the boxes for the bank, right? There's a couple of things they want to confirm, make sure everything's solidified. And then at the very end, we close and barbecue at your house. But just today, we have a lot of things that we're going through, and there's about 6 portions of the contract that you can absolutely cancel and get that deposit back. Mm-hmm. So I think that's another big misconception is people think, okay, once I offer, I have to get this home. No, we're just starting the process. And while you should be 95% sure you want the home, we're gonna go through and verify all of those things and confirm.
Here, at least in the state of Hawaii, how our standard purchase agreement or purchase contract is designed gives the buyer so much more leverage and basically higher ground in a sense that, the buyer has multiple opportunities to cancel more than the seller does. So just know that if you're looking to buy a home, and something that, scared me when I was buying a home was, oh, I'm signing this contract, and what if, I can't come through, or something, doesn't come through, what can I do? And just know that you as the buyer, you have the upper hand when it comes to canceling or backing out and still retaining your deposit. Now, there are certain cases where that's absolutely not going to fly, and you might lose your deposit. But that's where someone like Marina can advise you properly, saying, hey, we got to meet these deadlines, we got to do X, Y, and Z. And that's what she's going to help you coordinate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, fact finding, you're actually really confident every single step. We're holding your hand. And it's not just us too. We actually have a whole team that supports us. And so sometimes it might be someone like my transaction coordinator who's pushing this paperwork through. They're watching the timeline like a hawk so that we can sleep at night knowing it's not up to us to do everything. We have this whole support team around us, which is really critical. The last thing I want to mention is just kind of about appreciation. So going back to market specific, if we're talking Oahu only, there's some things you should know that's really special about our marketplace, right? So it's not like places like Texas and Georgia. It's not like where, let's say you bought a home and then after 3 to 4 years, you're ready to rent it out and you want to cash flow on the difference between rent and mortgage. Hawaii is called an appreciation state. And big vocabulary word here, appreciation just means the amount that your home is going up in value. Doesn't mean based on the renovation that you're doing or any fixes and upgrades. It's just by you paying the mortgage every single month, your home value goes up in time, right? So we've seen this through our lifetime, right? If I think back to when I was born, houses were really cheap in my mind, right? But to our parents, it was still a big investment, but a little bit more affordable, I would say, based on income. But today we're looking at that same thing and saying, okay, for 2025, what is my home going to look like in 2029 and 2030? And we can kind of forecast that for us. But I have a graph here that the video editors will show up, and it just kind of talks about the values specifically on Oahu and how insane our market is, that it tends to double every 10 to 12 years. Put that in all caps, Hawaii doubles every 10 to 12 years. So again, just by you paying your bills every single month, we're not changing it, your money is working for you in addition to the principal that you're paying off your loan. Okay, so we've got double factors that are duplicating your money, okay?
Typically average, there's going to be off years, there's going to be great years, but on average over the last 40 years or so, it's been about 5 to 7% appreciation year over year. So if you think about like a high yield savings account, now you probably won't see a 5%, APY. So if you think about that, real estate is another asset that you're investing in. And so 5 to 7% appreciation every single year is kind of what you can expect. And Marina talked about this a little bit earlier, that certain pockets, it's going to appreciate a lot greater. We're sitting in a neighborhood called Ho'opili. It's a newer development. There's a rail that just came in. It's still developing. So a neighborhood like this is going to see a lot more aggressive growth in appreciation. But the one thing that I think we can say across the island, across the state, is how steady the appreciation is, right? Even in the bad years, in 2007, 8, and 9, when we had that housing bubble crash, home values in Hawaii only dipped single digits, right? Yeah. In some markets across the nation, it was in the double digits. I think I remember seeing news headlines saying maybe Arizona or Nevada, that home values dropped 60%.
Yeah.
Right? So even in a market, even if a situation like that were to happen again, which it won't, for example, yeah. I will let you know that it won't happen, but like what happened in 2008. But if, some sort of catastrophe were to happen, Hawaii's a pretty insulated market because there's always more demand than supply.
Yeah, and it goes back to, we live on a rock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We don't have more land. What we have is what we have. And we actually have a 25-year housing shortage, meaning there's just never going to be enough. It's so hard for us to make up that gap. And so yes, the city and county is trying to do things by doing affordable housing projects and high rises, but it's just something that's going to take so long. So for us right now, 2025 to 2028, in these next 3 years, we're talking about plant a flag, let it grow, and then do something in the future with that investment. And I just double checked. So in 2009, which was the year that really hit Hawaii hard, we dropped only 7.9%. Right. That's not anything. Yeah. That's not anything. And so while the mainland's panicking, they're cashing out short, right? All of this stuff, we were able to just hold on. And if you just would have held on, I think, what year was it? 2013, we matched that same median price again, and we're up on the up. And it's positive ever since then.
And then like years like 2021, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like 21% appreciation. Obviously it was COVID and you know, everywhere appreciated, but you know, Hawaii especially, it was pretty crazy.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah. Like I flashback trauma to it, but I remember like 26 offers in 20 hours and you had to submit like 200,000 over asking. Like, thank God we're not going back there again.
And just to share a quick story, I just recently had a client, they closed on a $1.2 million home out in town.
Okay.
The husband, and this was before they got married, the husband had bought a single family home in Eva Beach for around $600,000, $650,000. They were able to sell it for 1.1 in 10 years of living there and, you know, building their family. In 10 years, it almost doubled. And with that equity that he had, now he was able to put a sizable down payment, pay off a lot of debt, and he was able to get into the dream home. And the point is that especially here in Hawaii, please don't expect that your first home is gonna be your dream home, right? It might take a step or 2 steps or 3 steps even to get to your dream home, but it's where we start today. You know, the important thing is that we start today and we start to have a plan and a strategy to get you into that first home so you can start riding the wave of appreciation.
Totally. And so back on appreciation, I think most of us are at that starting point, especially if you're watching this video. This is like 101, super simple. Most of us aren't going to afford the $1 million home. So I have a great example of $500,000. That's like a great starting point for someone that has around $3,500 a month they want to spend on a home, right? So let's say year 1, we buy it for $500,000. If we're talking that 10-year appreciation, by year 10, averaging 5% every year, we're at $820,000 now is your new home value. You didn't make any changes to it. Maybe we've upgraded the lighting, like super minimal, right? But now it's worth $800,000. Okay, so your appreciation gain is $320,000. Amortization, which is another big vocabulary word, but that's just the principal you've paid off of your loan, right? We've got interest plus principal. And then, so the total equity, 320 plus 83, we're at 403,000. Total equity, you've got 338,000 cash check to you after expenses. Assuming at year 10, we're paying commissions and closing costs, right? 338,000. That is like life-changing money, especially for someone, if you're buying at year 30, you're 30 years old, by year 40, now you've got a check for 300 grand. Like, bro, like it's so real. And I think a lot of us too will talk ourselves out of this when we're doing the Zillow scroll at night of like, surely there's a fluke, surely there's a catch. No, like we are living proof that our clients get to see this money every single day. Right. And it often in like 3 years, they're getting a check for 50 to 75,000. On a starter condo. Yeah. Like that's insane. So here's another example, buy versus rent. Again, this is a military one here, $3,300 a month BH. Okay, if that's the BH you're working with, assuming a 6% interest rate on this one. If you were to buy on the buy side, you've got monthly is about $3,000 plus your property tax insurance is $175. You're writing a check to the bank for a total of $115,000 over those 3 years. Versus on the rent side, let's say, I'm not feeling buying, I'm just gonna rent it out. We know you never see that money again, but year 1, maybe you're paying $3,300, maybe year 3, landlord bumped it up, now it's $3,600, property tax and insurance on that as well. So total cash flow to a landlord is $126,000, which is a lot of money over 3 years. Like people often don't do the math, but $3,000 every month times a couple of years is 100 grand. That's passing through your hands. You got to pay for housing regardless. What are we going to do with it? If you had chose to buy, your house has also gone up in value, not just what you've paid off of it, but now it's gone up $93,000 in those 3 years. So you're at that $580,000 mark, right? So $93,000 minus a couple closing costs, you're still getting a check for 50 grand, which 50 grand to people is game changer money. Like if someone wrote me a check for 50 grand, that would give me so much leverage. I could eradicate all debt if I have that. I can put a small down payment. I can put some into stocks. I've got leverage, but it's so hard to play the saving game to make 50,000. Right. Like it's impossible. Right.
The speed at which you can save money is going to be so much slower than appreciation and, you know, how you can pay off the loan and regain some equity. So, you know, if you're on the fence, I mean, buying a home could be the starter, the catalyst to creating generational wealth and really becoming that fork in the road moment for you.
Yeah, but I think it's a decision you have to make with confidence. And so we're going to roll into the financing portion of it next, because I think that's where there's so much gray area and unknown that I think the 101 on education will give you some clarity. So let's roll into that next.